What's up, Cowboys Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, smash that like button and subscribe because we're diving deep into all things Dallas Cowboys, and tonight, oh boy, do we have a juicy one. We're talking about the Dallas Cowboys preseason opener against the Los Angeles Rams, and the spotlight, the fire, the pressure. It was all on one man, Joe Milton. The former Tennessee Volunteers quarterback finally suited up in the Cowboys' blue and white and stepped under center for his first real NFL snaps. It was a roller coaster performance that had fans on their feet one moment and scratching their heads the next, but one thing's for sure: Milton threw his first touchdown as a Cowboy, and that moment was as electric as it gets, even if the night didn't end in a win. Now, I know it's just preseason, but if you watched the game, you know this didn't feel like any ordinary August football matchup. There were storylines coming from every angle: roster battles, rookie showcases, coaching adjustments, and of course, Milton's much-anticipated debut. So buckle in, because we're unpacking every detail of that game: the highs, the lows, and everything in between. From the opening kickoff, it was clear the Cowboys' coaching staff was handing the keys over to Milton. Dak Prescott wasn't suited up, and Cooper Rush didn't take a snap either. This was Milton's moment: a live NFL defense, bright lights, real-time decisions, and a chance to prove to fans, coaches, and front office executives that he belongs on this roster, maybe even as QB2. And let me tell you, it wasn't all pretty. In fact, that first quarter? Rough. Milton started off cold, maybe too hyped, too amped up by the moment. You could see it in his throws: bullets that sailed over receivers, fastballs that didn't give his targets a chance to adjust, and just an overall sense that he was letting his rocket arm do too much of the work. He finished the first quarter with just 1 yard on 2 completions, and at that point, fans were starting to murmur: was the hype overblown? Was Milton really ready for this? But then, like any good story, came the turning point. In the second quarter, something clicked. The game slowed down. Milton adjusted, found his rhythm, started using his legs more effectively, and most importantly, he connected. He led a gorgeous 9-play, 73-yard drive that ended with a touchdown pass to tight end Rivaldo Fairweather. And let me tell you, this wasn't a gimme pass. It was a tight window throw, threading the needle between 2 defenders, and the chemistry with Fairweather, who also had a great camp so far, was undeniable. That touchdown was a glimpse of what Joe Milton can become in the NFL, a dual-threat QB with a cannon for an arm and the poise to deliver in pressure situations. And man, after that drive, the energy in the stadium shifted. Suddenly, the Cowboys' offense looked alive, and Milton looked like the guy we saw throwing 70-yard bombs at Tennessee's Pro Day. It was vintage Joe Milton, but in an NFL jersey. Still, let's not sugarcoat things. This game wasn't a Hollywood debut. Yes, Milton showed flashes, but the inconsistency was real. He'd follow a perfect throw with a bad miss. His footwork, while improved, still needs polish, and there were moments where he stared down receivers a bit too long. The decision-making wasn't always clean. There was an interception that he definitely wanted back, a deep shot into double coverage that got picked off. And then there was the injury scare late in the third quarter. Milton took a hit to his elbow and had to exit the game. Thankfully, reports indicate it's nothing serious, but man, talk about a nerve-wracking moment. It's never good when your young QB goes down, even in preseason. That said, before the injury, Milton's full stat line came in at 17 completions on 29 attempts, 143 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, plus 22 rushing yards on 5 carries. Not terrible for a preseason debut, especially when you factor in that he settled down and played some of his best football in the second and third quarters. Now, I want to talk about Milton's self-awareness, because it was honestly one of the most impressive parts of the night. Post-game, he didn't sugarcoat anything. He said he gave himself a D, maybe a D-, and admitted that the excitement got the best of him early on. He talked about how he needs to manage his tempo, trust his reads, and stay calm under pressure. And as a fan, you love hearing that kind of maturity. You can coach mechanics, you can teach scheme, but that kind of honesty and accountability? That's leadership material. And he's already shown that he's willing to put in the work to get better. It's not a matter of talent. Milton has more raw talent than almost any young QB in the league right now. It's about refinement. If the Cowboys can coach him up, get him to dial back the velocity when needed, and play within the structure of the offense, he's got real upside. Maybe not as a starter this year, but as a legitimate option down the road. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about the supporting cast, because this preseason game wasn't just about Joe Milton. Several young players made big-time impressions. Trayshawn Holden, an undrafted wide receiver, continued his rise with a beautiful 36-yard grab that showed off his route running and hands. That catch was one of the biggest highlights of the night and probably earned him more reps in the next preseason game. Then you had Malik Davis, running back, who ripped off a few impressive runs, showing great vision and contact balance. He finished with 63 yards on just 7 carries, and he looked like a guy who's fighting hard for a roster spot. On defense, we saw Israel Mukuamu make a ridiculous one-handed interception. Seriously, go watch the replay, it was OBJ-level insane. He's fighting for a role in the secondary, and plays like that get you noticed. Zion Childress also had a strong showing in the defensive backfield, flying around the field and finishing with 5 solo tackles. And let's not forget Marist Lufau, the rookie linebacker. He was all over the field, wrapping up tackles and showing some nice instincts. These are the kind of performances that turn heads in the film room. And you know what's crazy? Despite the 31-21 loss, despite the miscues, despite the slow start, there was something undeniably exciting about this Cowboys team. You can see the foundation being laid. The young guys are hungry, and the coaching staff is clearly invested in giving them opportunities. That's what preseason is all about, not just final scores, but development, chemistry, evaluation. And Joe Milton's performance, even with the flaws, was a major part of that development narrative. This is a guy who could easily have gone into a shell after that rough start, but he didn't. He stayed poised, took coaching on the sidelines, adjusted his game, and found a way to put points on the board. That matters. That resilience, that bounce-back ability is what separates flash-in-the-pan talents from long-term contributors. It was just one game, sure, but it showed us something real. Now, if you're looking ahead, the big question is, where does Joe Milton go from here? Is he in line to lock down the QB3 job? Could he even push for QB2 if he continues to grow? The injury will be something to monitor, but assuming he's cleared, he should get more reps in the next preseason game. And that's going to be critical. One game is just a sample size. Teams want to see consistency. Can he stack good practices and good performances together? Can he start faster? Can he make better reads, quicker decisions? The physical tools are undeniable. The question is, can he put it all together? And let me just say, if you're the Cowboys, you want to be the team that helps him figure it out. Because if you do, you've got a legitimate asset on your hands. So overall, yes, it was a preseason loss, but it was also a preseason performance full of promise. Milton's first touchdown as a Cowboy is officially in the books, and while it didn't come with a W, it did come with a sense that something is building. Something new, something exciting, and as a fan, that's all you can ask for in August. Real growth, real evaluation, real competition. So now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know, what did you think of Joe Milton's debut? Are you buying the upside, or are you concerned about the inconsistency? Which young player impressed you the most? And who do you think is going to make a surprise push for the 53-man roster? I'll be reading every comment and responding to as many as I can. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more Cowboys content, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We'll be back with a full preview of the next preseason game, more roster projections, and of course, continued coverage of Joe Milton's journey in the NFL. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and as always, go Cowboys!